Hello and welcome to TSDN Africa. This is your presenter Joaquin Quinu, and today I'll be discussing about Africa as a laboratory for certain people. Well, I would like you to watch this video for me before we start our discussion.
Si je peux être provocateur, est-ce qu'on ne devrait pas faire cette étude en Afrique où il n'y a pas de masque, pas de traitement, pas de réanimation, un peu comme c'est fait d'ailleurs pour certaines études dans le sida, où chez les prostituées, on essaye des choses parce qu'on sait elles sont hautement exposées et elles ne se protègent pas. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez ?
Alors vous avez raison, et d'ailleurs on est en train de réfléchir en parallèle à une étude en Afrique justement pour faire ce même type d'approche avec le BCG, un placebo. Je pense qu'il y a un appel d'offres qui est sorti, il va sortir, et je pense qu'on va en effet sérieusement réfléchir à ça aussi. Ça n'empêche pas qu'en parallèle on puisse réfléchir à une étude aussi en Europe et en Australie.
Bien sûr.
Merci en tout cas, professeur Loche. Résultat quand ? Parce qu'on est tous très impatients de connaître tous les résultats de tous les tests et toutes les expérimentations.
Alors ça, évidemment, c'est une bonne question. Ça dépend d'un certain nombre de choses. D'abord, la vitesse avec laquelle on peut mettre en place l'étude, la vitesse avec laquelle on peut avoir suffisamment de personnes à inclure dans l'étude.
Now, the video you just watched is in French, and it's two French professors, they are doctors who are discussing about the COVID-19 lab test, and these people are Jean-Paul Mirat and Camille Louche. That you can see. So this is Camille Louche, Professor Camille Louche, and the one on top two is Jean-Paul Mirat. These two professors are discussing or are suggesting that the COVID-19 trials should be tested on Africans, and the African youth are very angry. And in fact, when you go on social media, just now I've just gotten a report from BBC News Africa, where Drogba and Eto'o are showing their concern about what these two doctors have raised. That the fact that these two doctors are saying that trials should be done on Africans. And in fact, it has caused a lot of problem on social media today. The African youth are very angry because of what these two doctors said. Now the question is, why are they suggesting it? The one on top, which is Jean Mirat, was actually saying that because Africans do not have masks, which is fallacious because he doesn't know, he has not come to find out whether the Africans don't or they do. And in fact, Africa too is not a country, which majority forgets to understand. Africa is not a country, Africa is a continent, and in this continent we have 55 countries in Africa. And he's saying that the fact that a majority of Africans do not have masks, and apart from that too, prostitutes do not protect themselves, and even HIV and AIDS test in quotes was probably trials was done here. So to him, he's suggesting to his other colleague, Camille Louche, that these trials should be done in Africa. And Camille Louche was attesting to the fact that, yes, trials will be done immediately. But you and I know that when it comes to laboratory testing, we actually need to test it, and after testing it, it will take time for us to do some research to find out whether this test does not have any implications on the individual. Now, the youth of Africa are angry because to them, these two professors, these two doctors, are taking Africans as lab rats. What you listened was in French, and it was actually a TV discussion that they had on LCI in France. This has caused a serious problem in Africa. I want to know what you think. Do you think what these two professors are saying is right or not? Are Africans actually lab rats? And when they say Africans, which people are they saying? The world claims that Africa is the heart of humanity, and therefore they think that everything that is about human beings should be done here. And it's also in brackets that Africa is a poor continent. To them, majority of them think that Africa is a poor continent, while you and I know that Africa is actually not a poor country, but Africa is the heart of all riches. It's just that the people, probably some are saying, don't know how to cater for their riches. And also it's their leaders who are not doing what's right. But putting this aside, are these two professors, are these two doctors right that the COVID-19 test should be done in Africa? Now the question again that I want to put to you is, what is African Union doing about it? What will you suggest to African Union? Should the African Union do something about it? I think it's a question for the world. The world should say something about this, because if the world truly wants peace, and as a Youth for Peaceful Election founder, UPEC, what me too I stand for is peace. And peace can actually come through what we say. And it's very pathetic and it's serious from what these two professors are saying. You can read below. In fact, Africa needs an apology. But some are saying that it's not about apology, because slave trade, well, they came, they apologized, we accepted. A lot of things are happening, like fights, there are always war. That's majority thing that is backed by outside continents or outside countries. They are backing these fights in Africa. And they think that it's not about apology, but these two doctors have disrespected Africans. And the fact that they are comparing them to animals, they are comparing them to lab rats, and that they should be taken as lab rats, and this COVID-19 test should be done on them. Another thing that they are saying is, why shouldn't it be tested in the countries which are most affected? But they are suggesting Africa. We want your view on this, and it's a serious case. Africans are truly, truly mad. Africans demand an answer from these two doctors, what they said, if they actually mean it. And the fact that Professor Camille Louche said that measures are being put in place right now, and they are making sure that things will be done very, very fast, immediately. This is a serious question that Africans, we need to tackle. I will end here, and I would like to tell you that Africa is not a continent. Africa is again not a country, but Africa is the heart of humanity. Africa is everything, and therefore, if you truly want to consider Africa as the heart of humanity, not continents, not a country, then you must respect the people in Africa. And I call on the Pan-African society to do something about this. Joachim Kwenu, TSDN, Africa.